One question I have, which I know it's hard to explain, but that, you know, you have camper is solar prepped, wired, and it may have a panel, or it does have a panel on top. But where does the average RV consumer, where do they find their information on if they're wanting to utilize solar energy more and stay longer without being plugged in? Where do they go and what all does that entail and what all needs to be done? Is, I mean, is that even a question?
Yeah, yeah, that's
Because
a great
that's
question.
Yeah,
because that's
yeah, it
where
is.
because that's where we were at,
Yes.
and we were finding all this information out.
So I would say the first thing I would recommend is going to a solar load calculator. And this would be something that you could do. I mean, you can Google search one and start filling that out. And it's going to ask you a bunch of just like crazy questions that you wouldn't even think of. And so it's going to ask you, how many lights are you going to have on at night? And how long do you run the vacuum? And do you use a microwave? And what size microwave is it? And what about your refrigerator? And so, you really go through and answer each item honestly. You're going to find that that number is probably going to be higher than what is actually used, but it still gives you something of, this is how much power I'm using in a day. This is how much power I'm using in a week. So, you look at that number and, you could be shocked at the number that you see. Wow, I use 9 kW of power in a day, and I'm camping in a little Class C that I can't even come close to coming up with a third or a quarter or a fifth of that. So then it starts changing your mindset as to what is important, what's not important. So really, I think that calculator is probably the first area I'd go, and then I'd take it with a grain of salt. I would also say, if you're going to have a professional doing this, and if the professional never asks, what is your camping characteristics? Give me a little idea. They might not have to pull a calculator out. I mean, they might have it all up here. But if they're not reaching out to you and asking, what are you expecting from this? What do you want? I would thank them for their time, and I would find someone else, because it's not like a t-shirt where one size fits all. How can your expectations be met if that person never understood what they were? So run. Find someone who that's inherently what they're looking for, is to understand you, understand your needs, and then that person is going to mold and let you know, yeah, we can come up with something that's going to be pretty close to that, or I can't come close, but this is what we can do, and these are the limitations why. And if someone explains that to you, of, I can do this, but you need to expect this, I mean, that's the person you stop and you listen to, because they're setting your expectations for something that's probably pretty reasonable.